Hello there, hi. Alex Jones here with Intrepid Defense. Today we're going to talk about one of the toughest things to do in all of shooting sports, stage planning, and the ability to follow that stage plan once the buzzer has gone off, right? So today I have one of my own videos here. You can see in the background of me talking. I'm going to go over the four big things that I always think about whenever I'm going into the stage and how I'm going to plan the stage. Stage planning is not something that you can just look at the other guys in your group or guys or girls in your group and go off of what they're doing because skill sets are always different, right? You have shooter solution. You have four major tenets that you should follow all the time of how you're going to shoot different targets. The four being the size of the target, how far the target is away from me, is the target moving, and am I moving? Those four things help me build how I'm going to attack a stage, as well as some other things we'll talk about as this video plays. But I want you to keep in mind those four things as you're watching me shoot this video, because it's a huge deal as to why I pick certain targets and why I move on certain ones versus others, right? Or reloads in certain spots. So let's dive into this thing. We're going to start us off the top. So initially off the top of this thing, I go to the left first. I am a right-handed shooter. But the stage for me, I like going left as a right-handed shooter first because then I can move right and always reloads are in front of my face versus having to do anything weird with my body position. I'm a huge fan of body position and being in a proper body position as best as I can be the entire time during the stage because it helps shooting, helps recoil, helps movement. As you'll see in here, let's just start this and we'll go through this. So I come immediately off the rip, right? There's targets in front of me. So one of the big things too that people make general mistakes on, especially new shooters, is they think that if a target's right in front of them, they have to automatically pull the trigger, right? That's not necessarily true. You don't have to draw and shoot these targets that are immediately in front of you because it's not the optimal way to do it. This is a game. This is not real life. So if somebody's standing in front of me, obviously I would shoot them if I had a gun and they were pointing a gun at me. But in this sport, right, in this game, it's points per second. So I need to figure out how I can get to a spot immediately, which has the most amount of targets for me to shoot at one singular spot, and then get out and move to another spot where I can shoot more targets again. So for me on this stage, it was immediately coming to the left, and on the outside pictured here, there's two targets and a third target here, and then there's one up here in this corner. So we'll kind of break this down real fast. So I shoot the first two, and then I zip to this target. I skipped this one because where this little porthole was, I couldn't technically see it through here without doing some weirdness to my body position. So what I opt to do is you can see these three targets here. I take a wide step to my right and open these targets up, and it allows me to shoot all three of these and then turn onto this window without having to do something where I'm going back and forth. What usually kills a lot of momentum and speed in a stage and stage planning for somebody is they do a lot of back and forth, or they cross over targets a lot of different times and have to come back and then go again and come back, and it keeps you in the same spot for a longer period of time than you actually need to. So that's why I chose to kind of move ever so slightly to engage three targets again, and then this is the last target that I engaged before I'm now going to reload and move into the next portion of the stage, right? There was no reason for me to go up, so there was no reason to actually get up there. I can see all the targets that I can see from back here in this angle. That's another thing. Try to run the back angle as best you can to make sure that you can utilize angles, right? There's no reason to get into this window. There's no reason to get sucked up. Those are simple mistakes that you can avoid making. So as we continue on, I reloaded into this position because I ended up shooting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Right, I got 23 in the gun, one in the chamber. But I don't like playing that game. I like coming in with lots of rounds. As you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more targets over here. There's a lot of chance for makeup, and I don't want to be sitting there. And there's not really another spot over here to reload. So the next thing I would like to talk about is reloads, right? Choosing where you're going to reload and why. It's super important. Unless you're shooting PCC or open, you're generally going to make a reload every single stage, and it's very crucial where you do it. The more athletic you are and the more human performance based movement stuff you can do, and the more you practice reloads, the more options you pretty much have when it comes to reloading. So I'm a big fan of reloading on the move. I don't like to reload then move. As I go back on this, let's see if I can come back. As you see here, right, I'm taking my steps as I go, I'm moving to my right and reloading at the same time, right? So moving and shooting or moving and reloading, trying to get to the next point where I can see the targets to shoot the targets as quick as possible. So this is the longest gap for me from here to here is like 7 steps that I can't shoot a target. So I'm trying to cover as much ground as I possibly can and reload in that time frame. So then whenever I am seeing this target, these next targets that appear, I have a completely loaded gun and I have as many rounds as possible to shoot if I need to remake shots. So, and I'm also coming in onto a open target, and then there is a partial target back here where this mouse cursor is. So I'm trying to come in on this target quickly, engage. So I send 3 rounds, and then I shoot 2 at that back one because my feet become planted here. And I had to plant, right? I'm not a big fan of planting if I don't have to, but on that one, that was a tougher target and a tight window between this gap here, this barrel in the way, and then where this target was situated. That was a tough shot. So immediately engaged that one off the rip, coming to this guy, and then finishing up here. Shot these 2 targets, shot this target twice on the move, coming in, feeder settled, hit this steel, hitting this target, finishing on the no shoot stack right here. So to bring this thing fully back all the way to the end, right? Oh, it's going to take forever. Coming all the way back. We'll watch this thing back one more time. All right, so off the rip, right? I took everything into account I just kind of just talked about. This is why and how my brain works. I'm trying to go as efficient as possible, so I'm going from left to right, going in one direction. I'm not going left, going right, and then coming back. I'm trying to go one direction all the time. I'm coming in. I'm trying to shoot as many targets as I can from each position. So that first position, I got 3. I make one step. I got 4 because I end on this target here. I move to the third shooting position. I engage 2. I move to the fourth shooting position, and I engage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 targets. So I broke this whole stage down into literally 4 different shooting positions. So once again, we'll watch this thing at full speed, and then we'll cut it at the end there. Coming in, shooting 3 here, slight step. That's a new shooting position. And 4 targets engaged. So half the course of fire is done. Move as fast as I can, engage 2 targets, and now I'm at the last shooting position, shooting as fast as I can, and ending this thing. I'll have the text here at the bottom. You can see what the stage scores are and everything like that. But if you guys like these kind of thing, I'm a big fan of this informal style talking where you just kind of see how my brain works as we go through this. To me, stage planning is one of the hardest things you can possibly do, and it's what separates the best shooters from the like if you're looking at the grandmasters, it separates grandmasters. The best shooters in the nation, the best shooters in the world, all have the ability to stage plan very, very well to their skill set and perform that stage plan once the beep goes off, right? But thank you guys for your time. Thanks for listening. Tune in for more videos like this and other little more informal things. So I'm a big fan of training. Always get out there and get after it. Thanks, guys.